And we're live. I'm Slim Daddy with her silly cynical asshole. And welcome to the Slim Daddy All Star Podcast. The three people who are watching this stream so far. I'm here with Jay Step, a really good friend of mine. I've known him for what 2 years. We've known
I
each
would say
other.
so, yeah. That's when I
Yeah,
actually
about
got
two.
local.
Yeah, about 2 years we've been good buddies here, and I got Pointman back here with me. Few people might pop in, few people might not. Um, and we're starting the stream here real quick. Zero people, yay! So we're off to a strong. Oh, three. That's new. Okay, we got three people watching. Why don't you guys introduce yourselves and what you guys are all about?
Okay. Well, name's Jay Stepp. Pleasure to meet everyone here today. My claim to fame is being a semi-retired 3D animator. I've gotten some actual work that's a little bit less stressful. If anyone's actually gone into the animation industry, you know that it's definitely a lot of potential stress in there. I was able to find a really cool gig. Still doing some animation work, and right now, every so often, I just try to make sure that I put out some really cool content on Twitter, showing some cool things. These gentlemen know that I'm a little bit obsessed with certain characters in the comic book industry, and if you ever check out my Twitter, you'll definitely find out what that is. But overall, I just want to just come and chill with some two cool guys.
Oh, it's my turn? Oh.
Yep.
Right. Sorry, I was distracted by something, just thinking about something. So I'm Point Man Comics. Don't know if you can see this. No. I don't have it shared. But no, I'm basically a writer for Point Man Comics, which basically includes well, the only comic that's you're able to physically get right now is the first issue, but I'm gonna format issue 2 later. But basically, it deals with Gorilla Galaxy, which deals with Captain Blue Bedlam, who destroyed his home galaxy to save the universe. And the second story in it is going to be Hell is Full, where it deals with a skeleton detective named Abe Smoke, who has to find a missing demon singer in a world full of demons.
Damn. Oh,
yeah. I still have to do the bigger script. It's just I have this thing like blocking me from doing it. I mean, I've written the script 3 times now, and it's like it's still not. I don't know. Something's preventing me. I don't know. Maybe it's because of my whole relationship with the artist that happened during that year when it was getting developed. But still got to get through. I mean, I got like 10 scripts on the back burner right now, but I'm working on the Gorilla Galaxy one, which the bigger one of Gorilla Galaxy called Gorilla Galaxy Into the Chaos Zone. And the second script I'm working on is Red Reunion on the Crazy Chicken. But now let's talk about the main topic now instead of myself. I'm not self-centered. No, definitely not.
Nah, man. Chill all you want. I could not care less. Go ahead, man. We got Ryan, got Burning, our 2 cheerleaders who always show up. These guys are awesome. We're here today to talk about fandoms, and something that I've noticed in 2020 that's not depressing, scary, or just outright messed up is that I've noticed that the actual fandoms are starting to gain power again, starting to get more influence again. Basically, people are listening to the fans, or at least admitting that fans are right. And I really do think this is like a nature's healing moment for fandoms, because I think that we're like getting to the era where we're finally seeing the collapse of the menace of the mainstream uh color, let's just call them colored haired individuals who try to take over a lot of parts of nerd culture and all this stuff. And we're recently like seeing these developers realize that nobody wants their garbage. No one wants the garbage.
You
They
can,
realize that.
Hmm.
you can call them the soapbox writers. Basically, it's like they just turn anything they're. It's comical, really. Like I just want to mention this one DC comic called Female Furies or whatever,
Oh, good
where
lord!
one of the characters was in the middle of fighting and punching guys, and she was like given this whole like spiel or speech. I'm thinking, this is like not the appropriate time for this, as this could be an action scene where you can just be completely dialogue or whatever and try to escape, but it's like you're just lecturing someone. Imagine Superman fighting a pair of parademons and then lecturing them on the environment, right?
That's what
I
freaking
mean,
happened in Superman Red Sun, where they were in the middle of this big fight, and then all of a sudden, like Wonder Woman comes in and just lectures all the men, like saying all men are bad and will never, and the Amazons will never interact with men ever again. That she goes away, and
That
everyone
was
stops what they're doing. I'm like, dude, sorry, point man.
no, it's like, yeah, I remember that, and it's like in the comic, it was basically like, so they were fighting Russian Batman, which I need to find a clip of that and basically like use that as a meme or something, because Russian Batman, oh, he is just so cool. He's just so crazy. It's like I bought Bat vodka and other Russian bat themed things. Anyway,
he,
so you guys.
he makes potato bombs. He can make bombs out of potatoes.
Well,
He
no,
could.
then he would be Irish Batman. But no, basically what happens is that Wonder Woman, she breaks her lasso, and then basically like she becomes completely powerless or something along the way, or maybe she didn't. But basically, I don't remember her doing a spiel because basically like,
Oh, she did.
have you read Red Sun?
Oh, hell yes.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
it's
I'll let you
like one
finish,
of the
and I'll kind of
best.
explain that part.
Yeah, it's
so
like one of the best Superman stories ever.
well,
That's
there's
screwed up in the animation. If anyone here likes that animation, that's cool. I just
oh
thought it could have been better.
here's the thing: is that they had Roy Mustang right from Full Metal Alchemist as this like full, I don't know, patriotard, I guess we're gonna call him, because he's like, I don't know, something like, oh, America first or make America great. I'm like, oh, dude, what are they doing? This is supposed to be a bizarro, a tragic bizarro, right? Because in the comic, you have this tragic bizarro who like looks at Superman, looks at the thing that's falling in the sky, and it's like I'm gonna be the hero somehow, and it's like he does, he sacrifices himself or whatever, and says Bizarro Superman says hello, and it's like, oh wow, that's a bit tragic. Yeah, most of Mark Miller's stuff is good, I guess, but it's like, there's the Wanted comic that was a little too much. You read that one?
That one I sadly did not read.
Yeah, basically. So imagine Superman, right? So he's basically about to like go with Lois Lane or whatever, and looks for a condom, and then finds that it's a kryptonite condom. Yeah, that's mentioned in one scene. It's like, oh, so that's so low to do to somebody. There was other stuff too. A literal like, I don't know, kind of like they had a Joker character, but it's like he was too much of a Joker character or something. I don't know.
But the main thing I'm trying to say here is like, I think that's a good I think it's a good example of what I'm trying to get at is that people realize that you shouldn't mess with the story, because this is an age where people are more vocal and like this is garbage. We're not gonna take your garbage anymore. We're not gonna watch your garbage. We're not gonna consume your garbage. And we're seeing basically that shockingly that I can't believe this has to be said. Oh, here comes Smug, everybody. Smug's here.
Hmm. Hey, Smug.
Hey,
But like my overall thing with this entire. Sorry, I lost my train of thought. Sorry.
oh,
We
talk about
talked
this
about fandoms
revival.
and how they're not going to accept, subpar crap anymore. And if you want a good example, Sonic. Look at what happened with that.
Yeah, I was gonna get to that. I was trying to lead into that. Sonic, the original Sonic trailer, of course, was meme to death. And everyone made fun of it. Everyone said it was terrible. Everyone said it was bad. Studios actually went out of their way to fix it, and now it was a shocking success. It was really well received. It was a good movie. Even if you didn't like it, people said it was still okay for
Mhm.
what it was. And people said that even though people said like they're more excited for the sequel, which I understand, it really does show that at the end of the day, fandom it does show that if you listen to fandoms, they will give you their money. It's not that hard. It's not that
Yeah,
complicated.
I mean, here's an example. What would happen? Has anyone ever seen the movie Rocky Horror Picture Show?
Oh, yeah, Rocky Horror.
Yeah.
Yes.
So imagine what would happen if we made Dr. Frankfurter straight, and he was like, I don't know, conservative and like stuff like that. During that entire movie or whatever. Like with a fandom like that, no, no, they would hate that. Pretty
Yeah,
sure.
I don't like talk. Like I said already, that's my only rule. You don't talk politics on here.
Oh yeah, I mean
But
it's kind of hard in this scenario, but I'm not gonna like force it. I'm just saying like what would happen if you like just basically plop down something that's complete opposite for the story, and then it's like it just drives off fans or whatever, you know?
yeah, I get that. But I get that. I'm not trying to dictate anything. I'm just saying like sorry if I'm out of it. I had to do some stuff earlier, and I'm a little tired, and my mind's a little screwed, and a bunch of stuff going on. Sorry at the same time, so I'm a little out of it. Sorry guys if I'm not 100%. Maybe I'll get better later on in the stream because I can't focus right now because I got something on the back burner right now, so I'm kind of out of it. Sorry,
Yeah, no,
but
I'm
my
the same way.
but my point is let's focus. I want to focus on something I want to point out. You have some good examples of giving fandoms exactly what they want, and then there's disregarding what fandoms have to say. A good example would be the basically like I don't want to beat a dead horse, but The Last of Us 2 is a great example of just spitting on fans who genuinely who loved certain characters who died in the game, and how the creators went about dealing with those characters. The fact that Joel was pretty much fucking disregarded, disrespected, and even though people will say, "Well, it's the quickest selling game on PS4," yeah, but it's also been highly refunded to
Well,
the
yeah.
point where people actually started giving it away for free with other games. It was a gigantic disappointment. Um, so you're telling me that fandoms actually start having a voice and actually start making an impact on things. And it just so happens to go to show that this is a 2020 model that people can get behind. So instead of so we're finally seeing people saying no, you're not going to do this and get away with it.
Hmm.
Basically, like I said, The Last of Us 2 is a great example. And now we have like the Samurai Jack game that came out, which is awesome, by the way. Guys, it's really freaking awesome. And there's this thing in the Samurai Jack game where if you get all the gold medals, you get a special ending that will please a lot of fans. Trust me.
Hmm.
Oh, I think I could guess what it is, but I'm not gonna say it right now.
I, is everything okay? Somebody's background stuff.
Is that a cat
Um,
or a kid?
no, it's my cousin. He's has kind of like autism, bipolar, all that. He yells a lot.
Ah,
Yeah. But anyways, continue. If you want, I could probably mute myself.
Uh, no, we're good. You guys okay? You're good.
I'm okay on
Yeah.
my end.
Yeah. So it does come around to this idea that you know it this was basically the entire Samurai Jack game was a well coordinated, well thought out fan service heavy game, fan service for everyone involved, as well as making a genuinely good game. But it was also a carefully laid out way to retcon the original, basically retcon the original ending of the show because it confirms this is canon to a degree. So you got something that pleases the fans, that's selling well, that people really love, that people are enjoying, versus something that some hack wanted to do in order to stroke his ego.
Well, something that kind of goes interesting with the whole thing with The Last of Us and basically the events that happened there. Apparently, this is again a lot of rumors, so some of this can and cannot be confirmed. There were events in the original Last of Us that were actually supposed to be far more devastating. Apparently, some ideas that were put on the table was like Joel was supposed to die in that game. I believe Ellie was supposed to actually kill a character or two. Or one more or two more characters. But for one reason or another, and wisely might I add, they actually said no. They weren't going to do that in that game. And I have a feeling that the people who said no either let Neil do what he wanted or were no longer working there, which is one of the reasons why we got the Joel in one, so to speak.
Because Druckmann was the co-director in the first game, or at least basically he wasn't completely in charge. This is a George Lucas scenario where he wasn't completely in charge, but he was in charge. He was still heavily influencing it. That being said, he was given complete control for the sequel, and he did everything from the ground up himself, like the writing and directing and stuff. And almost everyone hated it. Everyone saying, yeah, it's not a good story. It's not a good story for a story-driven game. And a lot of fans felt like you didn't understand why we liked it to begin with. And and again, it led to people not boycotting the game, just simply not being interested in it, or at the very least being disappointed by what they got. And it's really telling when, again, like you keep boasting, hey, this is this fastest selling game on PS4, but then you're ignoring, hey, it also is the most refunded game on the PS4.
Yeah.
At the same
That's,
time,
yeah. Well, not to mention the fact that you're going into those kind of facts. Something that they've neglected to say is how much the drop off ended up becoming for the sales of that game. Like like the first week, yes, 4 million sold, and it was, and credit where credit's due. It was impressive, but at the same time, it shot down like quite a bit. From what I've seen, and again, this is potential sources based on just some sales stats and also player count. The current number of current players in Last of Us 2, I'm just double checking, was something around over 6 million players. So, that in itself, again, there's a bunch of games that would probably love those numbers, but this is the last freaking Us. And they took how many years to make this? What, 7 years?
around 7 years, yeah.
Yeah, around 7 years. So you would figure that for a beloved game and everything else like that, this would have sold even more copies than this. I mean, it just seems a little bit disappointing that they didn't get any further. And I definitely would say, and this is just a guess, if they can't get somewhere around 10 million sales by the end of the year, it might not reach the same number as the first one. Depending on how you look at it, that could be seen as a bad thing, and someone's going to have to answer for it.
Yeah, and the same thing is, and I don't want to turn this to a Star Wars thing, but I will. Is the same thing happened with The Last Jedi. People said, "Oh, well, it made a ton of money," and I'm like, "Yeah, it made a ton of money in its first in the opening weekend, but it dropped. But like, ticket sales for the movie dropped like 70%. On average, a movie would drop like at the very least, an okay movie would drop anywhere from 30 to 50%, but 70% drop off is pretty alarming, and not to mention every movie after that, after that, after The Last Jedi has been a financial failure. The Yeah, people are gonna say, people said that Solo was the first Star Wars movie to bomb, and then even though Rise of Skywalker did make a billion, but it limped to the finish line, and even then the numbers aren't what Disney wanted it to be. It barely made a billion. It went from, I think, because like the Force Awakens made 2 billion, over 2 billion easy. Then the Last Jedi made around one. I think somewhere between, I think
I'll see if I can
one.
get those numbers for you.
Yeah, it was like 50. It was like 1.5 million around that number, and then Force, and then the Rise of Skywalker barely. I know Rise of Skywalker barely made a billion, barely got to the billion spot. So
Okay.
each so each, so
Well, I was
each
just going to give you
film.
those numbers if you wanted them.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. According to Box Office Mojo, here are the numbers. So kind of corresponding what you're saying. 936 million domestic, 1 billion 131 million for The Force Awakens. So you were correct, over 2 billion. And then when it came to Last Jedi, you are correct, 620 domestic, 712 international, grand total of 1.332 billion. And then, of course, with The Rise of Skywalker, ooh, man, these numbers suck. 515 million domestically, 558 for international, 1 billion worldwide.
So like I said, basically every Star Wars movie after that has been more or less not what numbers that Disney wanted. Not to mention that Kathleen Kennedy has gone out of her way to constantly try to shift away. Basically, I think she's trying to shift away from the spotlight, because she tried so hard to be the front man, be the face of Star Wars, be the next Lucas or the next Filoni. But then she realized she done fucked everything up, and she kind of pulled away from that. And now she's just trying her hardest to save face. At this point, she's trying her hardest to save face, and again, it goes to show that it goes to show that people are, but fandoms are tired of it. That people are tired of going to these movies of supporting Star Wars. No one's talking about Star Wars anymore. Um, not not it's not as big as what it used to be. I remember when people said like Star Wars is back like 5 years ago. People were like Star Wars is back. It's gonna be with the MCU. It's gonna be just as big as the MCU. Nowadays, almost the only person I honest to God hear new Star Wars content about and seems excited is Star Wars Theory, God bless his heart, but he's
Mhm.
just the only one talking about it.
What
Uh,
about
Oh, yep. Appointment.
what about the Mandalorian?
That is definitely a property that still has, I think, a good amount of favor to it. At least my thoughts on that. Of course, there was that whole controversy that happened a couple weeks ago with the one actress. Man, I cannot remember her name's worth anything. Point man, do you remember the actress that got into trouble because of nothing?
Yeah. I think I'm just gonna Google search her name real fast, but she did a thing on Twitter. But it seems that like my brother, he's a huge Star Wars fan, and he basically said that was like the as a good successor to this. It was basically just like what everyone wanted in Star Wars is in that show.
Mhm.
And I'm kind of thinking, I think, they purposely did it that way. I don't know, for their streaming service. Let me see. I'm gonna look it up. She's the Space Marine character, right? You
Yeah,
remember the name of the Space Marine character?
yeah. Wow, I cannot remember. I think her name was Gina.
Gina Carano.
Thank you.
Gina Carano. Cara Dune? Is that her name?
That's her. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Basically, I mean, I haven't watched the show or whatever. I've only seen bits and pieces, but it seems like what Star Wars was, and it's like it's an easy formula to basically like replicate. But and I'm not going to mention too much from what I've seen from the Star Wars because it's like I was a bit turned off. And I was like after watching what was the one? What was the first one that started off this trilogy?
Force Awakens.
Yeah. I mean, even the names are kind of like hard to really like remember, or like it's like you're so disinterested in it. But it's like you remember Return of the Jedi. You remember that,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I mean, like Empire Strikes Back was like considered the greatest sequel of all time. That literally anybody who wanted to make like a parody of a sequel, they will put Strikes Back on there. That's how big Empire Strikes Back was. But here's the thing. Yeah, like I said, like stuff like that. It's become apathetic towards a lot of people. With Star Wars, because at the end of the day, they never listened to fans. They wanted to be they wanted to be both mainstream and appease to a certain demographic of people. You know who. Um, I'm not gonna say those three letters on this stream. I
A wise
won't.
decision.
BLT.
I'm not.
Yep. Yes. BLT.
BLT.
If you have those sandwiches, things are just going to
Yeah,
go bad.
BLT. No BLTs. If you say BLT, you know what we're talking about. I refuse to say that on the stream because I don't feel like it. I don't feel like
Okay.
that
Yeah.
We get it,
kind
man.
of thing. But you get all this bullshit on here, and you're trying to appease this fandom audience of people who don't exist, and you go out of your way to more or less spit on the fan base. Then you give the second movie in your trilogy to a guy who admitted that basically he does not care about your franchise, that he either doesn't like it or doesn't really care about it. So you gave it to this guy, this idiot, who said so far, this is his words, not mine. You gave the second movie of your franchise to a guy who's gone on record to say he wanted to make a movie that would split people down the middle. Basically, he wanted people to hate it. He made a movie for clout. He wanted people to hate it.
In
Then
other
he
words,
said.
sorry, you first.
Then he said he didn't like how the original trilogy ended or how the original trilogy went. He literally said he didn't like Empire Strikes Back or its ending. He said the best movie in your entire franchise that pretty much solidified it in pop culture history. He said he didn't like that movie. He said he didn't like it. And then finally, in his most recent interview, he just outright admitted he never cared about the world building. He didn't even care that he was making a sequel. At the end of the day, he just wanted to make his own movie. This is a guy you let make the second movie in your trilogy.
Honestly,
What?
Go ahead.
Honestly, I think that the person that should have made the second movie was what's his name, Denis Villeneuve, the guy who did Blade Runner.
Interesting choice.
It would have been better than what we got.
Anything would have been better than what we got. Okay, Burning Exeter. Thinker question. Now would you be a good time to ask, what do you guys think of the 2010s with the absolute worst era for movies, TV, and even animation? I think that's
I'll let you take that.
I think that's not really a good way to look at a lot of things for a myriad of reasons. Probably my biggest reason for that is I think that the 2010s gave us a lot of good stuff and a lot of bad stuff. I legitimately think that despite the cultural stagnation, I think stagnation is a big. I think it's ironic because I think when I think of 2010s in terms of entertainment, I think, wow, we did so much to innovate, so many new creative ideas, but at the same time we're also doing a lot of old stuff. We're rehashing, we're not trying anything new. So I think the best way to describe 2010s is it's an era of experimentation and really good, interesting, cool, awesome ideas, but you have to dig deep to find them. You have to look deep through a sea of mediocrity to find it. That's just my takeaway from it.
Smudge, I've been talking a lot. Do you want to put your voice in, or Pointman, you want to put yours in? I've talked a lot, so I want to give you guys your chance first.
Probably Smug.
Smug, sorry.
Yeah.
No, it's all right. But like when I think of 2010s, I honestly the first thing that comes to mind is just K-pop, just and like the fandom that spawned from it.
Yeah, that's definitely that's definitely something we. Speaking of toxic fans, let's talk about She-Ra. The reason I brought Jay Step on here to begin with.
Oh boy.
So apparently, She-Ra fans are through a massive temper tantrum over a small joke made by the creator and a podcast name that was said out loud, and they did not hesitate. I was shocked. I was bewildered. Like, I mean, I'm not that shocked. I'm Fry. I'm shocked. Well, not that shocked, but the fact that it happened so fast and so hard, I'm like, You guys are ruthless.
Yeah.
You guys are fucking ruthless. She made literally one, and I don't even think the joke was even that bad, or even that quote unquote racist. It's just
It's just a drawing of like a black guy as like a farmer, and I'm like, can black people not be farmers?
it said
Well,
basically the joke was this. Apparently the character Bo has a bunch of siblings who all have the O in their name. One of them is a farmer named So, which isn't even really a fucking racist thing. It's literally what you call a farmer.
Hmm.
But yeah. And apparently they say that's a slave joke, and I'm like, if you see a black farmer and the first thing you think of is slave, maybe that says a lot more about you.
well, I think it's more. I mean, that's basically one way it could have been interpreted, but also with the current times, and no one can see the quotations that I'm putting up here, but just say quotation, current times. It might not have been the wisest decision to go in the direction they did. I mean, I do think that again that the Netflix Shira fans tend to blow a lot of stuff way out of proportion. But that being said, it just was a bad idea for them to not only make this inside joke, but to actually put it on a stream that it was an inside joke, because it makes it look like, oh, if this is the stuff that they're saying behind the scenes, what else are they saying? And it basically leaves a lot to the imagination. And let's face it, when it comes to certain fans, their imagination goes pretty bad pretty fast.
Yeah, like and another great part about it is like they like first thing she did was immediately apologize. Now at first I wanted to go in and try to tell Noelle Stevenson, hey, don't bend the knee. This is if you literally ignore this, it will go away quickly. They will forget about it in like a few days if you just ignore it. Don't bend the knee. Don't apologize. Ignore it. And but then I remember that scene from Batman Begins on the train, and then I realized the rhetoric she's been spewing, the kind of people she's cultivating, and the disrespect she's shown people who criticize her. And I was like, yeah, this is my moment, my Batman Begins moment. I'm not gonna kill you, but I don't gotta save you.
Yeah, that's
I
so
don't gotta,
hilarious.
It's
I don't gotta save you.
it's kind of like the ContraPoint situation. Like, I don't remember what exactly she said that got her canceled, but like, on one hand, it's like I do want to defend what she's saying, but on the other hand, she and like a lot of people like her just kind of, cultivate that same kind of audience that just like they what is it they a lot of the people that kind of are like her, they just don't really they don't believe in like actually going up to people and actually like or at least like looking at dissenting opinions. What? Is internet working? Yeah. Sorry. But yeah, the that's pretty much what I had to say. That like a lot of the people that are kind of like ContraPoints, they just they don't really allow for like dissenting opinions, and that's just what I had to say about that.
Yeah, like I said, you can have whatever opinions you want. It's just there's a clear line of respect and understanding that goes into being a creator that I think that a lot of creators nowadays just don't have.
Hmm.
You see
Mostly
that
because of big. Oh, sorry.
no, go ahead.
Well, mostly because everyone's afraid that something is going to be offensive to somebody. I mean, I'm sure that some people were ragging on the guy who made Joker because he was the dude who made the Hangover movies, and he said that it's almost impossible to make a comedy anymore. Obviously, I'm paraphrasing a lot, but I kind of get what he was talking about because, there's a lot of people who say, well, if you're not offensive, then you have nothing to worry about. But let's face it. Everyone's probably going to say screw up at least one time or another, and everyone gets offended by little things. And some people tend to just be like, okay, whatever. And then there's some people who, pull a Noelle Stevenson, and basically everyone basically tries to cancel them. Ooh, let's make that the thing, Noelle Stevenson.
No. There's already a term for that. It's called a J.K. Rowling.
I like Noelle Stevenson better, but that's a more personal thing to me. But you probably got a point.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, man. These people, I'm not gonna say the three word. I'm not gonna say the three letters because I'm trying to distance myself from that rhetoric. I'm trying to grow. I'm Gilgamesh on the internet. I'm trying to become wise. But here's the thing: when you get to these type of people who put their moral moral pedestal over everything else, it really does show who's a true fan, who's not. Because despite all the bullshit that J.K. Rowling has done, I honestly don't care. I still love Harry Potter. I still love the books. I still love the movies, and I really don't give a shit about what she believes in, what she thinks, because I stopped caring a long time ago. And I think that if and here's the thing about these type of people, they want their creators to be influencers. They want their creators to be projections of them and like the arbiters of what's moral and what's right and what's good. And sometimes that can work. You got people like Stan Lee and Walt Disney who did teach strong values and ideas that people to this day still follow. But at the end of the day, those are values and ideas. They're not asking them to be they're not asking back then they were still people. And I think that a big contributing factor to that, in my opinion, is the advent of social media, where basically people can be on you 24/7, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, always catching up on you. And why I think a lot of creatives should be wary of how they're portrayed on social media
Oh yeah,
for that very
definitely.
reason.
Definitely. Like most times it's like it doesn't kind of even matter at all, because it's like most times people will just forget and go on to something else or whatever. But then it's like you get the people who are like so into the voyeuristic view of what you do in your whole life, like who will look up on David Hasselhoff, whether he was like drunk on set or whatever for that one
Like,
eating burgers while his shirt was off or whatever. I remember. You ever see Ted 2?
Look, can you say that last part again, please? I'm sorry.
Ted 2, like that movie.
Oh, yeah.
Where it has a scene where it's like Ted is basically hassling Hasselhoff. Yeah. And it's like he just says like, it's like, oh, that's his private business. It's like, no, he's a public figure. His private business is my business or something. There's so many people that want I don't know, they kind of view them as like their buddy or something in some weird way, even though it's like you never met these people in real life. And it's like you just want them to be perfect, but that's not going to be possible because some people will vote for more mustard on their hot dog, and some people will dip peanut butter and jelly in their ramen noodles, which I find to be the most disgusting thing since forever when I heard about
actually peanut butter and ramen noodles is actually pretty good if you know how to do it.
You're
Okay,
dead to
I don't
me.
know you guys, but wow. Now I'm just
joking.
I'm the ramen chef here.
Oh yeah, I know.
Tell him. Smug, tell him I'm the ramen chef
I
here.
know. I have weird things like I'll eat jalapenos, pineapple, pepperoni, along with mushrooms, olives, and extra cheese with sriracha sauce on my pizza. And you ever try it? It's pretty good.
Well, I've tried
That's
sriracha with ramen noodles, but not so much on my pizza. Might be actually kind of a good thing to try. I'm glad my girlfriend
um
taught me how to cook.
yeah, just but like here's like here in Exeter, what actually it's what I'm Exeter is kind of was what I'm trying. Exeter brings up like, hey, Stanley and Walt Disney were two of the most humble people ever. That's they were public figures, yeah, and they were humble, but at the same time, and they had good intentions, they had good ideas, they were, I would say they're decent people as far as I know, but at the end of the day, they had dubious moments.
Oh yeah,
There was the whole
Oh,
There
definitely.
was Stanley and Kirby.
Yeah.
and Steve Ditko.
That's Yeah, and Steve Ditko and all these other things like Stan kind of, he was kind of the face. Let's just say he took his role as the face of Marvel Comics a little too far in some cases. And Walt was a ruthless businessman. Jesus Christ.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean,
Uh
he
he was
created the Empire of
ruthless.
Joy. They basically
Like
just,
you guys see Saving Mr. Banks?
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah, like the people got really mad at the ending because the ending is nothing like what actually happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, like nothing like what actually happened. Um
But it's romanticism, it's like romanticism of the past. You want to show,
yeah, but like up until that point though, they were kind of fair with their portrayal of Disney. They showed him smoking, drink, like kind of like they didn't show him actually smoking, but they did show him putting a cigar out. They showed him frustrated. They showed him with maybe a glass of alcohol near his, you know, stuff like that. But the ending was just straight up, yeah, that's nothing like what actually happened. That was it was relatively fair till the ending because the ending is not, if you know the true story, it's nothing like that. Um so at Burning Esther, I never really cared that much for ramen. Then you are not allowed on the stream. Go away. Um,
Okay.
no, I'm just kidding, dude. But like I said, I think that this really is an era where now more than ever you really do have to separate the artist from the art from the artist, because with social media, no matter how hard they will try to keep up, this idea that, hey, I'm just the guy who did this, I'm just the guy who did that. They're gonna make a political statement at one point you're not gonna like. They're gonna say something you're not gonna agree with, and at the end of the day, I've grown numb to it. So I'm just like, yeah, whatever. But at the end of the day, you gotta learn, hey man, you just disagree. You just disagree on some issues. And that's perfectly okay. That's perfectly okay.
well, yeah,
Um
it's like you can't control everything they do. You can only control whether or not you buy their stuff again. I mean, it's not like, okay, so you can't control exactly everything they're going to write in their stuff or whatever, but it's like, because it's like, as writers or creatives, you can do whatever you want, but it's like whether or not it sells, because some people, they can get off on name brand or whatever, like Rick Remender or like Grant Morrison or whatever, or Mark Millar or Alan Moore even. Their name still sells to people who are fans of them or whatever. And like they can say whatever stupid crap they want, but it's like people will still buy their stuff, but they probably won't buy their new stuff. Depending on, of course, if they want to just keep going.
let me see here.
I didn't mean to interrupt. Did I interrupt?
No, you didn't do anything, dude. I completely agree. Hold on, I gotta
Well,
read this chat. Hang on.
Okay.
You think that serving the army might have effect on creators Bob Ross, Mr. Roger Stanley, and even Keenan from Tool served in the.
I want to
I
add
don't
something about
I
comics on that too eventually.
what?
Oh no, I'll let you finish first, but I have something to add on for comics as well.
Oh,
Oh,
like Jack
sure,
Kirby?
no problem. Um, they say, do I think serving in the? I don't know about serving in the army because I'm not in it. I do think that moral values are different for these people. So you're saying like Bob Ross, Mr. Roger Stanley, and Maynard Keenan, they served in the armor and they're pretty good people. I don't know. I'm not going to advocate for the army. I don't if you I do think that I don't know, man, because I don't I'm not serving in the military, so
You
I don't know.
just have
But
to research later.
but I think that moral values have definitely changed, and we live in a very much a clout chasing society where we're seeking more of getting attention and getting recognition and getting our names known rather than just making stuff that people genuinely want to see and genuinely like. um
Well, kind of what I was going to talk about kind of goes into that. If you want to talk about trying to separate the work from the artist, I think Michael Bendis definitely deserves to be on that freaking list. To put this in perspective, for those of you who might not know this, I'm sure pretty much everyone knows this, though. If I'm not mistaken, he was one of the creators for Miles Morales, correct?
Here's how it goes. Bendis is, I would say Dan Slott's a better example because I can't think of anything that from Bendis that I like. I don't think anybody. I think Bendis was always the guy who was just there and then got more attention because Ultimate, in my opinion, was the only time I think Bendis actually shined and did something good, and that was a Spider-Man run during the Ultimates era. But
Uh,
even then, that's the only time when I like Bendis. Everything else he's done, he's a fucking hack.
He
Yeah.
is
And
damn near killing DC Comics by himself. I mean, it's you would figure how the heck could one man do it, but he found a way. He killed Super Sons. He's just everything he's touched at DC. I just want to.
yeah,
I'm not going to say what I want to do because I don't want to get in trouble, but I want to give him a stern talking to and ask what he's thinking. And that
well,
is the safest I can
but
go.
like,
I mean,
here's
if it wasn't for
here's
Tom King, I would say that he's the worst thing at DC Comics.
here's the thing. Here's the thing about Bendis. He made Miles, yes, but Miles is such a boring character, and he's never really. And even though he's been around for almost a decade, he's never really been. He never really got popular until the Spider Verse movie that Bendis had almost nothing to do with. You can thank Lord and Miller for making him likable and somewhat interesting with Spider Verse. He just made the character.
Yeah.
This is a guy who is responsible for fucking Riri Williams, the character who literally worked better as a villain than a hero for years. Basically, Bendis is just he's just not good. But like I said, I think Dan Slott's a better example because Dan Slott's done actual game changing stuff.
Hmm.
He reinvented the Superman origin story, and it was done so well that they actually changed it to the new canon origin story, either in Rebirth or New 52. I don't know which one, but they made that the new canon origin story where he knew Lex Luthor in his youth and stuff like that. You know, um, so they made that the new canon. and he also did a pretty good run on She-Hulk before he basically brought back that John Byrne style She-Hulk in his
Mhm.
recent runs. So he's Dan Slott's actually a good writer. He's just an he's just
A jackass.
yeah, he's just a jackass. I am probably blacklisted from the industry, and I still draw on printer paper. But but yeah, he's a jackass. It's a jackass and an asshole. But he's written some really good stuff, and I can say that he's a good writer. I can say that Gail Simone was good at some point. Not in like 10 years, but she was really good at some point. I liked her Justice League run. Her Deadpool run was pretty good. Her Birds of Prey run's legendary. I'm not gonna sit here and say that Gail Simone's a bad writer.
Although to be
At
fair, with the
least,
Birds of Prey, part of the reason why it was legendary was because she had an amazing artist to help complement it. I mean, her writing itself probably would have made it do well, but it's because of Ben's, I think that's how you pronounce his name, that really made her comic legendary.
Now, the
on a,
thing is
on a,
about some of her dialogue, though, it's like, I think it's like she adds in dialogue that I think regular people would say and putting in these other characters. It's just like I've heard some of the things like it's such like I
she's
would have
trying.
to say normie dialogue
Yeah,
in a
that's a
way.
good word for it.
And
Yeah,
but then
she's trying to be like silly and relatable and all that stuff, and it's just an overly quirky, and it's just she writes like she's trying to be a 20-year-old, and she's not.
that's like it's a
Uh,
recognizable style,
uh,
for when you're reading her comics or whatever. There is this one comic. Have you ever heard? It's called Leaving Megalopolisville. Basically, it's about what if superheroes were under this mind control that made them into sociopathic serial killers that cordon off a city and basically pick off the citizens one by one.
That would actually be a kick-ass movie.
Yeah, I know. It's like, and I think she's a part of the writers of comics, people who make their comics so that they can be written for TV later. Just like with Mark Millar, he does that with a lot of his stuff too. If
Yeah,
you,
like people who do stuff just to break into other parts of entertainment
yep,
because they know they're not gonna get the same recognition you get in comic books, and that's kind of sad, really. I mean, like you're not you want to be well known for something else, because she was involved in the Birds of Prey movie,
oh,
and
good
I
lord.
remember when the movie ended up bombing, she threw an entire hissy fit on Twitter. Ooh boy, she threw a hissy fit.
Man, if you
Oh
ever want to see like a real compare and contrast about why to listen to fans and everything, the difference, and this is something that you would think, well, why did they make the comparison between Sonic the Hedgehog and Birds of Prey? And what we're talking about right now, that's pretty much it, because Sonic, they listened to the fans. They didn't try to make them feel bad for what their preference was. They made the changes and it did well. Then Birds of Prey, they were basically saying that the whole thing with misogyny and all this other stuff, man, Yellow Flash does that way
no,
better than I do, but is saying that this is going to teach men that if you're threatened by these women, which trust me, no one was threatened by these women. I don't think even the cops whose ass got beat were feeling threatened. All right, joke aside. Um, but yeah, I mean, no one was really feeling threatened. They just didn't like the direction this movie was going and how it was being uh, basically presented. And that's, and again, when she's like, "Oh, can't believe this movie underperformed," and Well, this is the reason why. Oh, before anything else, we did get a question from one of the viewers. Can I read the question?
Sure, go ahead.
Okay. Burning Exter, I think that's how you say it. On a more nice and positive note, this is his question. What do you guys think of Sam Raimi as the film maker, and how will he handle Doctor Strange 2? I'm curious to know.
Um, First of all, Raimi's one of my favorite directors. Because he always brings passion and imagination to everything he does. Look at the Evil Dead, for God's sake. But I really do think that it'll at the very least it will be interesting, especially considering that basically they said that Doctor Strange 2 will be more of a horror movie. So like if they do this, I do hope that we get introduced to Nightmare because
Hmm.
he's a badass villain. Um um but also, this is Sam Raimi getting back to his horror roots, and I'm like, yeah, let's go. I'm all for it. I mean, like I would love to see him do another Ditko Stan Lee character justice. I mean, it's
Well,
awesome.
well, if it really does have America Chavez in it, it really will be for a horror movie, but for completely different reasons. Hoyo! No, sorry.
No, dude. It's cool. Um, but like I said, like stuff like that, we have people who really did, like for instance, like it's stuff like that appeases fans. That's gonna get people's attention. That's something they did for the fandoms. Like, yeah, we need somebody who can work with horror. We need somebody who can work with fiction. We can need somebody who's a fan of the comics because Sam Raimi is a big Marvel fan, really big Marvel fan of classic Marvel books. So we need somebody who knows source material. We need somebody who knows horror. We need somebody who has good faith with the fan base, and yeah, let's get Sam Raimi. And I'm like, that's actually a really good choice. Um, so yeah, when you think about when you put all those aspects into going into the movie, a lot of people are going to be like, yeah, we're gonna go see it. I'm gonna go see it because I want to see what Sam Raimi brings to it because I like Sam Raimi. I like his style. I like the original Spider-Man. Um, the original Raimi trilogy, even Spider-Man 3. I'm not ashamed to admit that.
You're a
But
brave man, and I respect that.
uh, and I don't hate it as much as everybody else. Basically, um, I still think Spider-Man 2 is the best Spider-Man movie ever. But my point is that when you do something like that, Disney knows what they're doing. They're like saying, "Hey, let's get Sam Raimi to do this next movie because Doctor Strange is still pretty popular. We can run that. Make it a horror film. So bring horror and a guy who knows. Basically, they're bringing in a guy who they know fans will come go see. Do what the fans want. They'll pay money to go see it, and that's what I'm gonna do. I want to go see Doctor Strange too because I liked the first one. I thought the first one was okay, but now she got Sam Raimi behind it. I'm like, fuck yeah, let's do it. I don't care what I said about the MCU. I want to go see it now. Um, and the same thing kind of goes for like how I felt about which was it? Spider-Man Far From Home. Spider-Man Far From Home was super boring. I
Oh,
did not. I found that movie boring. I almost fell asleep like 3 times watching that movie. And I'm over here looking at the end credit scene, and then at the end credits, even though I think that trying to make J. Jonah Jameson Alex Jones was a little on the nose, but whatever. But the fact that they brought back freaking J.K. Simmons as J. Jonah Jameson, I couldn't help but like grin ear to ear because it's just good to see J.K. Simmons play JJ again. It's awesome.
The moment I
You
heard him
know,
say Spider-Man, I was like, yes.
yes, thank you. That's awesome. I was like, yeah, that was fucking awesome. That was my favorite part of the movie. I was like, yeah, they got JK back and Jake, and you couldn't get anybody else. Come on, you couldn't even if you tried. Um, so yeah, but when you have Shira, and the only reason and it feels like the only reason these people even watch the show are for quote unquote, let's just say ideological reasons. You could see how quickly they turn and immediately say, "Hey, you didn't follow our ideology. You didn't follow our moral guidelines. We no longer support you. We no longer support your stuff. Um, and you're dead to us because you're not perfect. You're not a perfect human being, or you need to apologize, or you need to hire more people who look like me in order to validate my existence because I'm insecure. You see the difference here?
Did you see that post that came up like, oh, I think it was like a couple days ago, where this one um, special lady, I think it was a lady, was going on this huge rant on how characters were trying to be the most ideal type of themselves for League of Legends, and she apparently took issue with that and that kind of thing. I'm just thinking to myself, aren't they supposed to be like soldiers of fortune and, basically people who most likely would be at least somewhat fit? And it's just like one of those things is like, I get that you want a little bit more body diversity, but there's only so much that's going to be happening for a person who's going to do this kind of work and survive. So,
Okay, so if they really want a game with a lot of body diversity or whatever, they should make a
They
Discworld game. Have you
they
ever read Discworld?
they already did make a game with a bunch of body diversity. It's called Overwatch, and they still fucking bitched about
Oh, I thought you were gonna say Fall Guy.
it.
actually, then
Yeah,
But yeah, oh, that's the one with the monkey, isn't it? No, the ape.
the ape Winston. Yeah,
Winston. Something, something. I don't know. It was a dirty joke. I can't remember.
Winston
Oh.
cigarettes taste good like a cigarette
Or
should.
hmm,
I'm glad
Winston
someone.
Churchill.
The 50s.
I can't believe that they, getting Winston. I can't believe they freaking made a Flintstone commercial with Winston's. They actually, Flintstones actually hopped for cigarettes and beer. That is too damn funny.
Times
I
have
mean, like
changed.
it was a time. First of all, the Flintstones were never really meant to be. People don't understand this. Like the cartoons back then weren't really meant for kids. Ironically, a lot of animation back then wasn't necessarily geared towards kids specifically. Even the Looney Tunes, as silly as they were mostly like presented as comedies, not kids cartoons. So like they tailored to adults too. Man, it's ironic that cartoons initially started out technically for adults because these were put in theaters at first, and you need to be an adult to actually go to theater. So technically, in the grand scheme of things, animation was meant for, as early as we can think of, was actually a medium made for adults that slowly became for kids over time. And now we have this idea that animation is more or less strictly for kids. It's really weird once you think about it.
Yeah. Well, if you remember, like the old Goofy cartoons, what they had in there, like they actually had drinking, they had smoking, they had infidelity with Goofy's wife, which I don't remember if we actually saw it, but oh yeah, and of course, not keeping your house up because you became obsessed with something. Definitely had some very adult themes to it, and to be honest, they were some of their greatest cartoons. I mean, Some of the other ones that came out, recently, they're not bad, but they don't have that same impact. I mean, there's nothing quite as interesting as seeing Goofy trying to quit smoking and him going through all the withdrawal symptoms. And at the end, I think he ended up smoking like an exploding cigar, and he took it because it's like, no, it's not a real cigarette, but I'll take it.
You want to talk about like putting adult themes in kid shows these days? You gotta like put depression and just
Jack
shit like
Horseman.
that.
No. Here's what you gotta do. Just 4 words. PTSD. Oh my god, character goes through PTSD. That makes them deep.
Well,
PTSD is not character development. PTSD is a serious issue that has been talked about and gone over in many forms of media, both for kids and adults, way better than just saying I have it. And a lot of these modern kids cartoons, I'm tired of it.
There was some scenes in that one show, BoJack Horseman, where you do get characters, they go through this depression or whatever, go through like a hard time, and then they have these bright moments, Mr. Peanut Butter, it can't all be Mr. Peanut Butter
I mean,
from the
like,
show.
but here's the thing, BoJack Horseman's actually pretty good, like really good. It's just, but BoJack Horseman's legitimately well written. Even when they tried to like shove certain subjects into the narrative, it never lost the plot and stopped being good. BoJack Horseman is legitimately a good show.
It's kind of weird that I actually like the kind of backstories that his mother had. When you actually see BoJack Horseman's mother, you're just like, wow, she was a real piece of work. And then you actually see her childhood and basically how she grew up and how messed up her own childhood was. It's like, oh wow, this all makes actually a lot more sense now.
Cycles. What I'm getting at is there was this one scene in the last season or the season before the last season of BoJack that really got me. Was you have a character, Diane. She's basically trying to write about her childhood. She's trying to be depressing as possible in it. And then for some reason, a spark of creativity comes into her like head, and it's like she has a moment where she's actually talking to like this like, oh, I'm super happy crime solving mall girl or something, and it's like, okay, what is this then? It's like, this is actually like, she has like a moment of clarity where it's like, why can't you just try to make something creative and a little bit like happy or whatever? And it's like, I thought that was pretty good. It's like, because me, it's like, I had this moment where in my writing I wanted to basically just talk about I wanted to make a lot of my like superhero stories deconstructionism or whatever based off events in my life, and it's like it wasn't fun. And then basically I just started winging it and just started just writing comics where they do have dark themes in them, but not all the time. No, you can't make everything dark and like grimy all the time, because it's like you just leave it with very depressing.
I think even Batman had some breaths of fresh air every now and then.
Oh yeah, like the whole like think clean thoughts, chum. Or
here's the thing about Batman. Batman is a good deal campy. Like, that's a big part of his identity. He's campy as fuck. Yeah, he really is. It's like a big part of his identity. Even like no matter which incarnation you look at, that's mostly that's usually where like the best Batman hits. The original and the animated series is considered the best one because it was a good balance of the dark and the corny. Speaking of Batman, let's talk about the ultimate, probably the fandom win of not just the year, but of the century probably, and that is they're finally getting the fabled Snyder cut.
oh
The
yeah,
Snyder
fans
cut
of
is
just
coming.
just been throbbing over this.
Yeah, I bet that if you want to know a joke that didn't exactly age well, the Harley Quinn cartoon, the dude who had the "Bring Us the Snyder Cut," I'm wondering if they actually had a clue that this potentially could exist, because it's just actually pretty damn funny that the Snyder Cut is actually coming, and they were throwing shade at that at the Harley Quinn cartoon.
Oh yeah, they threw a lot of shit in that cartoon.
Yeah, the first season of the show was actually pretty good. I saw a handful of episodes. It's basically just Venture Brothers. It's just Venture Brothers in DC Universe. Second season, I watched a few episodes and I just couldn't dig it.
Same here, man.
Yeah, like it was like it felt like a thing where a lot of shows do, where they think, yeah, we had something pretty good that people liked, so now we can't screw it up, so we can do whatever we want. No, that just means you have to work harder to make sure that it's good.
There was just like from the second season, I kind of like the whole where they have Gordon where he's like really over the top and down on his luck, and he's a drunk. He's kind of like he gets divorced, but it's like he actually like brightens up. He quits drinking for his daughter, and he slaughters a whole bunch of guys with like a machine gun. I thought that was awesome. Then I hear like something bad happened towards the end of the second season, but still, it's like I used a lot of that Gordon as a meme. It was hilarious. Even one of the memes I made was "Release the Snyder Cup" when he's like, or top shelf liquor.
By the way, after we're done with talking with the Snyder Cut, we did get another question. So let's just remember that.
What was the question?
Oh, okay. We'll go with that now. Burning Exter, since it's related to the fandoms, and you answered my question about the Raimi so well, what do you guys think of Christopher Columbus being eyed to direct Frozen 3, which is being discussed?
There's a Frozen 3 coming down the works.
Yeah, dude, like I said, after I hate the first Frozen movie. Have no interest in Frozen as a franchise. Haven't watched Frozen 2. Don't care about Frozen 3. I'm sorry, dude. I don't have an opinion.
Okay.
Have you seen the original?
Yeah, I don't like it.
No, the original, like the Hans Christian Andersen one.
The Snow Queen. I've heard about it, and I'm gonna go read it. I did not. I don't know the story.
Oh, there's a movie of it. It's awesome. It's got like so much things going on in it. It's got like a bandit princess with a shotgun. It's like, oh my god, they should make this in modern time now. It's so awesome.
That would be pretty awesome.
So yeah, it's the opposite of the movie we got, where they do nothing for like pretty much the entire second act.
Well, there was that like creepy guy in that shed or that store that was like holding that family hostage. I kind of wonder why they never even brought that up.
Well, apparently that was supposed to be his family or something.
I'm pretty sure that guy was Ted Bundy. And yeah, I'm pretty sure. Here's
what happened. Here's what happened in the middle of the movie. Let me just give you a quick examination. Nothing happened. They went to the thing, and she got Kristoff. He decides to help her. They keep going. Wolves attack them, but nothing really happens except they lose the sled, and they keep going. Then they meet Olaf, and he follows them for no reason. And they keep going, and then they get to the castle, and they pretty much have the same conversation they had back home. And then she hits Elsa with her magic, and then that's what makes them go back for some reason. And nothing happens. Nothing happens.
So versus
for like the entire second act, nothing happens.
Now I know that basically that movie was really popular because of that freaking song, man. You could hear it in the back of
Yeah.
your head just from people mentioning it. It's like,
And everyone makes their own interpretation of it.
yeah. So anyway, versus the original plot is basically about a friend trying to look for her kidnapped friend who was being basically his soul was being removed from his body by the Snow Queen or something, or his emotions were being destroyed. So she has to figure out how to stop that from happening. And during the plot, she meets all these talking animals and a bandit princess and all this other stuff. You know, it's like it's I don't know, it's pretty good. I want to rewatch it again, because it's like I'm not doing it justice. But it's like they didn't want to kind of like. Was there only one villain in that, and it was a surprise villain?
You know what? I just want to talk about something else because I don't
Okay,
feel
yeah,
like
sure.
talking about Frozen.
Put
right
one thing
now.
because, in a sense, I probably could answer the question. In terms of having Christopher Columbus potentially direct that movie, I think, well, he did a really good job with the Harry Potter movies, as you do bring up. But and he actually, if he has any part of the process when it comes to any kind of special effects or anything like that, I think he could make the movie look magical. The only thing that I'm always concerned about, and this isn't just this movie, but it's almost any movie, is how potentially progressive are they going to potentially make the movie? Now, if they let Christopher Columbus do the magic that he did with the Harry Potter movies, I think it could work out pretty well. If they let the wrong people close to it, which again, if certain people were correct before about certain progressive elements getting into movies more often. Of course, this was several months ago when this was said. It might not be that great, but long story short, apparently some progressive elements or people are somewhat going to be purged if what rumors are true. Now, whether that's true or not.
Oh, you mean like from Doomcock?
Yeah, and not just Doomcock, but there's been a couple other sources as well that said that even though they're trying to hire certain people in Hollywood now, some of the people who are a little bit more vocal on social media might get purged. And to be honest, that might not be a bad idea. I mean, look at what happened with certain comics and everything like that. But
yeah, again, I don't like bringing up politics, and I'm not going to use those three letters. But there is, but like I said, it's like I said, when it comes to BLTs, when it comes to BLTs, they have a tendency to just see everything as their platform to do whatever they want. And like I said, it really does go to show that when you make stuff for fandoms, that you will end up making something that everyone will indeed, end up just loving. So we have all these so going over everything, we have Samurai Jack game that's doing extremely well. We have Sonic the Hedgehog movie, which did extremely well. That got Sonic some recognition again. We have what else we have? We have the Snyder cut, which whether you like it or whether you want it or like it or not, personally, I think it's still going to be a train wreck. But and that's just me. But at the very least, I can say congratulations for getting your voices heard, because that's the important part. Um, and I think that more people should understand that. Now we're seeing, again, like you said, with Doomcock and other people, and saying that they might just decanonize the entire sequel trilogy just to please fans. Say that the EU is now canon again, and say that their stuff is now no longer canon, like Rey and Kylo Ren and all this other bullshit. So it really does put into perspective people are starting to listen to fans again because they know that this is the way you want to go. I think like this entire, I would say at the past 5-6 years, you'd say, has been an experiment, and they're realizing that the idea of letting these BLTs get
Yep, that's hilarious.
use their things as a soapbox, and these pretentious writers and these basically these idiots who don't know what they're doing, who um who want to push certain ideas and certain ideologies above making something for the fans, above making something that people will like, and are just pushing towards people who share their ideology. um so basically this phantom audience that doesn't exist, they realize, holy shit, we're not making money.
Yeah,
we're
it's
not
kind of
making
like
or at
we're
least
not
have enough money.
making money.
like I think I was just thinking about an anthology that would actually actually work better. So try to like look for the popular thing that you're into or whatever, and try to sell it to your grandmother.
Hmm.
Right? Most times it's like, oh, they're not going. Or when you were a kid, did you ever let your parents like try to play games with you or whatever on like Xbox or something like that?
I got a better analogy. Because this is something we're actually seeing. This is like a Burger King trying to sell veggie burgers.
Oh, I hated those. Oh, I mean, I haven't eaten one of those, but I hear that they really suck.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, like, Burger King already sucks.
They still had some good burgers, although I haven't been eating.
No burger for. I've never enjoyed a burger from Burger King. Never. Not in my 20 years of life. I've never enjoyed a Burger King
That's
burger.
because you don't put on the special sauce, yo.
I shouldn't. That's like saying that's like saying I need to read the source material in order to understand this movie.
Well,
I
like,
should not need extra stuff to enjoy this
well, I put
fucking burger.
I put 5 different ketchups from 5 different fast food restaurants on my burgers. I have
You're
a whole
not
collection.
helping Burger King's case.
But still,
Pointman.
you have to add that special sauce from poaching other places. I don't know.
But like, it's trying to say
about special
you
sauce.
you can try to sell veggie burgers at your burger place, but at the end of the day, people who want veggie burgers probably gonna go somewhere else besides a burger joint. A vegetarian isn't gonna go to a burger joint if they're hungry. That's just not gonna happen. You can try to appease them, but that's not your lingo. That's not what you should do. You should make those burgers from Ed and Nettie where they dipped it in grease and ketchup and lard.
The special sauce.
The special Kinka sauce, and just have it be the chewiest shit. I remember that from when a kid.
You remember those special burgers that SpongeBob made? They were the multicolored ones or whatever.
That's Burger King. They make you poop different colors.
No, it's they were selling
wait. I know what you're talking about. They're gimmicky. They're extremely gimmicky, and they always end up fucking with your body. You basically use a SpongeBob episode to perfectly encapsulate Burger King.
There's still some good burgers at Burger King.
Yeah.
I like the ones with bacon on them.
If I go to Burger King, I'm just getting chicken nuggets. That's the only thing I feel safe eating there.
Although I'm more of a Arby's guy, really, because like I think like those are possibly more healthier than the other places. Although some people are saying it's got a lot of sodium, but it's like, yeah, you can get curly fries and like that buffalo chicken sandwich or whatever from it.
Hey,
I love that one.
Do they still have the prime rib sandwich there? They used to have that like years ago,
I
and
don't know.
because I'll tell you, their prime rib sandwiches with their curly fries and the Jamocha shake, that will probably give you a heart attack, but damn, is it tasty.
The best thing that somebody shared with me today was this. Where is it?
You know what'll give you. You know what's a heart attack on a bun? Anything from Hardee's. Anything from Hardee's will put you in a coma.
Oh, I found it. It was deep fried bacon cheddar mashed potatoes on a stick. I'm
That was
like,
real?
you had me at on a stick.
Buddy, I'm a diabetic and I just felt my blood sugar just skyrocket hearing that. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I know. It's like, although I would definitely try it. Just like
My
a lot of the one KFC chicken, man, I really love is that Kentucky chicken,
Kentucky
one with
Fried
the
Chicken?
pickles.
Oh yeah, I get what you're talking.
the,
Yeah,
the, the okay, you mean chicken sandwich?
no, the strips like the Kentucky.
The strips,
Oh,
the KFC strips.
Oh,
Yeah,
also, yeah.
Colonel strips are the best. We have them. We have them here in the Ville. They're amazing. Home of K. I live in the home of KFC, dude.
Hmm.
Oh,
Um,
and the pickle flavored ones,
hmm.
Hmm.
pickle sauce.
Speaking of which, what else do we want to talk about? We talked about the Samurai Jack game. Talked about the Snyder Cut.
Yeah, we only had a little bit of time to talk about the Snyder Cut. That's partly on me, so I'm sorry about that. But I wanted to make sure if we got any questions that we did answer them.
Is there going to be Farmer Thanos in it?
But like, here's the thing: like the movie, I still think the movie's gonna be a train wreck. But it will be interesting to see like an entire person. It will be interesting to see an entire person's vision.
Hmm.
And I think that's always going to be more interesting than seeing this watered down, cutaway, executively fucked monstrosity that was Justice League. I would rather see Snyder's vision than whatever the fuck Justice League was.
Yeah. I think I'm the only person who actually liked that movie. I don't know why it was. Maybe it was because I liked the Amazons and their portrayal in that. Maybe I just thought that the idea of the Justice League doing what they were doing, I thought that was kind of cool. Nah, I'm just weird. Sorry, guys. But I guess I'm looking forward to it too.
Yeah, like nothing wrong with liking the movie. It's just objectively a mess. Whether you like the movie or not.
It was a train wreck. Don't get me wrong, but
Uh, God damn it. Sorry, I got too many kids in my house.
it happens.
Same. Other kids.
I'm going to be visited by my nephews next week, so yeah, totally understand, man. No worries.
Yeah, sorry about that. Anyway, basically, I think that I do think that fans are getting a little bit more leeway. I think people are realizing that fans are what keep things alive. We're seeing more fan events. You had the Fandom, you had the Fan Con at Adult Swim, you had what else? Yeah, and they realized, instead of trying to please these people on Twitter who aren't going to buy our product at all anyway, why don't we just please these people who are cheering and wanting more of this? Why don't we do that?
Well, one, we got a lot of basically for the longest time we probably had the densest motherfuckers running the show. They're probably thinking, oh, well, we'll be proven right, and it's like, Yeah, so you have low sales, you have low viewership, you've got low ratings, you got all this stuff going down, and it's like, yeah, maybe you should understand why the money's going away a little bit, and understand that you're not really helping things by basically being like trying your indie film career in a mainstream setting, because it's like that's what I kind of feel like most times that when they try to do something experimental, it's like they're trying to treat it as if it's an indie film. Now, with the Joker movie, that was actually pretty decent. You know, it's like it was kind of like something like Scorsese or what do you call it, Taxi
the
Cab or
the
whatever.
the difference there is when they said when they said we're gonna do something different with the Joker. It felt the reason that the movie was so good is because it felt like this is a Joker movie. This is a movie
Right.
about the Joker. When I heard that we're doing a Harley Quinn and the Birds of Prey movie, I was like, okay, let's do. I honestly got think a hard R Harley Quinn movie about her going on a rampage throughout the city after breaking up with the Joker in a very Deadpool esque fashion, John Wick style movie.
Yeah,
I think that's a great idea. It's just that that's not what the film was.
yeah. It's like
It
it was executed correctly. It was
it
Yeah,
like,
was trying to be it was trying to be everything else. It was trying to be this super quirky girl power movie. It tried to pull again what Suicide Squad trying to do, trying to expand the universe at the same time, also while trying to be Deadpool, also while trying to be
uh,
this super fun feminist movie or whatever. Oops. I mean, like not feminist. Super
pandering.
pandering. There we go. Pandering movie or whatever. And at the very end of the day, it just didn't work. You weren't trying to be Harley Quinn of the Birds of Prey. You were trying to be something completely different altogether, and it didn't work out.
Yeah, I mean, it's like for some reason, it's like, why would you stay in a town where everyone's trying? They know you, they know that you're not protected anymore by your crime boss or whatever like that. And it's like,
You
why
know,
wouldn't you leave? And also, there's a
yeah,
scene where it's like she's tied up by, Black Mass. She says, like, I can help find this thing for you or whatever, but it's like, why would he release someone like you, which when you let a person out of your sight or whatever, without any, like, I don't know, like a bomb in their neck or something, they're just going to skip town. You
if they're
know,
smart, they'll
that's
skip town.
yeah, they're smart enough. They'll skip town, and it's like, and
and
something else
Well,
with
and
movies is
even then, like here's the thing. Like even then, um, it still did. Here's the thing. That would actually be a really funny scenario for Harley Quinn to be in. She's like needs to escape the city, but everyone's after her. And what would have been funny is if just a bunch of random people, random silly over the top crazy people were just after her. Maybe she could have like a bunch of nuns and they're like, this is for the bake this is for the bake sale, bitch. And then she's running away.
yeah. I
And
mean,
they
there
could
was
and like you could keep like what she did vague and vary from person to person as she's being hunted down. Something that would have been a funny joke. I was thinking that would have been a great action comedy thing to have in a movie like this, but they don't do it. Like the quirky parts,
well,
they
that's the part that,
literally they literally have it. They like like. Let me give you an example. This movie tries to have a joke, like have this joke where she's like, "Oh man, I need to get this egg sandwich, the perfect egg sandwich," and I'm just like,
oh god, I hated that
"Where's
scene.
where's the funny part about it?" It's like, I nothing. She's just describing food like every other writer who does this doesn't know how to write comedy. They just talk about food. And I'm just like, what part of this is funny?
Yeah, for
Tell
some
a
reason,
joke.
for some reasons, people like that made this movie think that having
BLTs.
DLTs think that putting in lots of food and all this other stuff will help with comedy, and it really doesn't. And here's the funny thing: the plot that you both of you thought that would have been pretty cool to do, that's what they tried to do in the comic, in the New 52 comic, that actually kind of worked with her. I mean, basically they had like I think it was issue 0, it technically was issue 0, where you see Harley Quinn in like a storage locker, and she's kind of just going over her life, basically realizing, oh, maybe she's not exactly going in the direction she wants to. Then she finds out, oh, I have property in I think it was Long Island. Yeah, it was Long Island. So she goes to Long Island, and hilarity kind of ensues because she tries to actually have a normal life, away from Gotham, which was, any sane person. Again, I know Harley Quinn, but she basically goes there and tries to start a new life. She basically is a landlord. She tries to bring up her psychiatry practice again, and is semi-successful. And she even joins roller derby to help out with her more violent tendencies. And the comic overall was, I thought, pretty good. Of course, got to be honest, it has Power Girl in it for like a couple issues, so my taste might be a little bit biased.
Oh yes, I love the scene where she makes her get on stage and spanks the monkey.
Literally spanks the monkey.
And out of context, that sounds dirty, but it's like in context.
No, she actually had a monkey that she was spanking, and she was in I think like a cave woman outfit or some crap like that.
And they had the one where she faces off against Zardos again, or whatever, or Vordox.
Yeah, that was when they went to the other dimension. Like there was that one part where Harley Quinn and Power Girl are in the mall, and like two criminals just come out of nowhere doing something. Power Girl, of course, gets shot in the boob because of course she does, and one of the villains tries to teleport them out of there, and then they teleport back immediately in the Harley Quinn comic. But then there was that spin-off comic, Harley Quinn and Power Girl, where you actually see them being teleported to that other dimension. That's where Vertox comes in. I probably said the name wrong. Sorry about that. And it's just, again, hilarity ensues. It was a good run. At least I thought it was a good run.
I could take it or leave it. It was okay.
My heart, but I understand.
I didn't hate it. Honest to God, Zack Snyder's best movie.
Yep, seen the question over here. So let's answer that question. You gentlemen first.
It's got to be Watchmen for me. I could explain a little.
300, because it's really basic. It's really fucking basic. And I think he's a style over substance guy. And out of all the things to adapt. Wait, no. Not 300. Sin City.
That was him?
Sin City. Yeah, that was him.
Huh.
Yeah. That was him, but it was also written by Frank Miller. Frank Miller worked really close next to him. But yeah, Sin City was Zack Snyder. And that's probably my favorite one. Mostly because it's, honest to God, the best comic book. People talk about like the best comic book adaptations in movies. That's probably the best one. One of the best ones. Like for like a straight up adaptation, that's probably the best one.
Yeah, that's a pretty respectable answer. Portman, what did you say yours was again?
Oh, Watchmen.
Yeah, respect. Again, I'm going to be the weird man out. I actually kind of liked Man of Steel. Again, it wasn't perfect because it's one of Snyder's movies, but the one thing I did like about it was just it was another take on Superman, but at the same time, it wasn't the New 52 completely version of Superman, which I definitely feel was very hit and very miss. And I guess for me, one of the reasons why I remember it fondly is I'm just remembering reading New 52, big fan, and I just really did not like the New 52 Superman much. I mean, there were some parts that were kind of interesting. And then when I saw Man of Steel, I'm thinking, oh, maybe they'll actually take some ideas from here and maybe put into the comics. Obviously, that didn't happen. And I'm not going to lie, I love the fight scenes. I was just thinking, okay, if we were ever going to have uh, of like fight scenes that really showed superhero characters that had super speed, that had super strength, that could fly, that could shoot lasers, this basically showed it. And to this day, I really don't feel that they actually had any fight scenes that were quite that epic. Yeah, granted, you have the whole army of bad guys and the army of good guys in Endgame, but I'm talking about like two people who literally could bench press the planet, basically duking it out. It actually felt like gods were fighting, and I thought that was pretty cool. I thought that
I,
the oh, sorry.
no, I just, you can finish what you're about to say. Sorry.
Well, anyways, it's kind of interesting, though, at least in my thoughts, that I thought that the battle for Smallville, I actually did like that better than the battle for Metropolis, just because, again, you basically have two super strong, super fast Hulks basically fighting not quite tested Superman, and him trying to adapt and come out on top. I thought was very compelling.
Yeah, when it comes to that, um, I think they kind of like overdid it like it did like when it came to like how it was portrayed. I think it was more just beating the crap out of each other, I and that's one of the reasons don't I didn't like the action from the movie, because when you look at Superman and you look at he doesn't really do that unless he doesn't really fight like that unless he's like going up against someone who's just stronger. He doesn't get savage like that unless he's going up against like like
Doomsday.
uh he Doomsday to an extent. I was thinking more along the lines of Mongol
Uh,
or what you said, Doomsday, right?
yeah,
Doomsday. What I think of fucking sorry.
it's cool.
What I think of the other guy. Um what's his name? Oh, not Thanos. What am I thinking? Why is my brain not
Apocalypse or not
working?
Apocalypse? Dark Side.
Dark Side. Why did I think of Dark Side? I'm so stupid. My head hurts.
That
Okay.
happens,
a-
man.
Anyway, um, it's like going up against Dark Side or I mean not Dark Side, Doomsday or Mongol is when he really gets savage like that. When he goes up against somebody with actual powers, like actual he'll use like actual tactics, and I wanted to see that from Superman. I didn't want him just. I didn't. That's why I don't like him in the movies, because he just goes at it and just starts punching and throwing and flinging people around, which I get. But that's the thing. He was fighting like a big dumb brute, not like Superman.
Hmm.
He didn't really like he didn't like put like thought into what he was doing. He just started punching, hitting, laser beam, fighting, and that's why people pointed out, yeah, dude, you saved Metropolis, dude, you annihilated most of the city. And I'm just like, yeah, because you didn't fight like Superman, you fought like the Hulk, basically. And even then, even the Hulk had his limits. He didn't like just deliberately smash stuff into oblivion.
Well, that is true, but you also have to remember that the Hulk, until Thanos came around, he never really had anyone that could match his strength and everything else. And basically, Superman had to take on
I'm
literally.
talking about the comics though. So
Okay.
so like when you like compare like comic Superman to to Man of Steel Superman, the problem I have with that is Man of Steel Superman doesn't fight like Superman. He's just brute strength, and that's not what Superman is. And
Well,
that's kind of why I don't like the movies that much. And
Um,
I
oh,
you can finish what you're saying.
like a good example of a superhero fight scene, in my opinion, would be again in Spider-Man 2, where the train scene with Doc Ock and Spider-Man, because it really does feel like the comic page is left to life. You can tell like Raimi did his homework and really wanted Doc Ock and Spider-Man to move like they do in the comics. And you can see like all the time Spidey tries to throw everything back at Ock, and Ock's letting his limbs do all the work and throwing everything out of the way. And it's just it just works well because they actually fight like two thinking people trying to get a strategy on one another. Man of Steel is literally just punching each other. And Superman, and that's the problem with Justice League too. These guys they're just punch. There's no strategy. They're just punching people, and it's just what the heck.
well, that is some pretty good points you have there, and I'll try and make this quick, Smug. Um, but then it comes into the part where, again, I kind of respect the movie in a sense, because you have to remember that when it comes to the movies like Avengers and that kind of stuff, with the exception of maybe Hulk, all the other characters are battle tested. I mean, basically by then Iron Man has had a lot of experience. Captain America, he was in the frickin' army. He was a super soldier. Thor had a lot of battle experience, not in our realm, but in all the other realms. Black Widow, she's a frickin' spy, but she was able to adapt pretty quickly. Same with Hawkeye. And Hulk, at least he had a lot of experience, fighting armies and potentially, kind of holding back a little bit so that the fatalities would be at a minimum. But, when it came to Superman, this is the first time that someone was an actual threat to him. I mean, because everyone else, they could shoot him, not going to do a thing. They punch him in the chest, not going to do a thing. And now he has an entire army of basically people who are potentially could be smarter than him, actual soldiers. They don't have his powers quite yet, but they're pretty strong. They're pretty fast. And basically him doing this stuff, I mean, he's never actually been taught how to, properly fight. Even Zod called him out on saying, "Where were you trained at? On a farm?" And that's when he started flying, and all the crap went crazy and stuff like that. And I guess that's again one of the reasons why I like that, because even though now he's, for the first time ever, he's finally been put in the situation where he has to adapt quickly. He's not really been a hero in this case, but he still comes out on top. But again, because he is untested, he is untrained, there was a lot of collateral damage. And it basically shows kind of a wake-up call that he has to freaking get his act together. And in the other movies, at least from my interpretation, he got smarter about it. There were a lot less collateral damage. And he did fight better. He's still not a great fighter because, I mean, who's going to train this guy? Who's going to spar with Superman? But you are right that when it comes to potential fights, he was definitely could have done this a lot better. But okay, that's on my end. I'm done.
In my opinion, they could have.
What's that noise?
Sure. I thought Smug was trying to talk.
What? I thought that was Slim.
Okay. You said you were going to say something, Smug? I feel like we've been kind of capitalizing the time. And if you wanted to say something, go for it.
Oh, no problem. But like that kind of reminds me a bit of like Captain Marvel. In the movies, it's kind of like I think the thing that I think will probably be like a huge problem in terms of her is that she's become so hyped up as being this like ultra powerful, better than everybody else in the entire universe type of character that like in any Avengers movie that they're going to do, I don't feel like she'll ever like get into any kind of like sort of consequence, not unless they introduce Rogue to like absorb her power. But even then, like I feel like she'll probably bounce back from that anyway. So you know, it's I feel like with Captain Marvel, they'd have to like throw more and more powerful like bad guys after her to be able to do that, and it's just going to be completely one-sided on terms of her to have all the powerful bad guys and everyone else is just kind of like not even on her level at that point. So it's just kind of like, you know, her being an Avenger, it's just like there probably wouldn't even be a point to the Avengers if it's just Captain Marvel who can just punch her way through everything.
Yeah, like that's like the main reason people complained about her. It isn't that we're like, oh, you guys are just threatened by a strong female character. It's like, no, not only does getting her power, not only does she getting her power doesn't make any sense. Again, a reminder that the way she got her power is because some light speed fuel fell on her. That's all that happened.
Like I feel like
Light speed, and again, this is where light speed isn't really a big deal in the MCU. So because we see characters move faster than light all the time, it's not a big deal. But that light speed fuel somehow made her one of the most powerful beings in the universe. And again, this makes her, and again, you just made a movie where you made her super ultra ultimate power badass, where Ronan was afraid to beat her. Like, you know, those ships that were really hard to stop in Guardians of the Galaxy, that they could barely defeat by themselves. She
Yeah.
blasts through them no problem now. And I'm just like, and then like it took Thanos the entire Power Stone to even push her back. And I'm just like, all of this happened because light speed goo fell on her. And
So
that and now and that hold on just one second. And now she's super ultra super duper powerful. And I'm just like, not only did she not earn this, but now she's basically broken
are
it.
you fading out?
Can you hear me?
Okay, yeah. It's just you are fading out.
Sorry, my mic. I mean, my thing on my tablet. Sorry, but like my point is, the problem with the movie is now that we're entering, now that people who still give a damn anyway are entering this new phase of the MCU. You now and and you made basically she's ultra super powerful now, and there's almost nothing that can stop her because again, it took Thanos using the Power Stone directly to even get him off of her, get her off of him. So imagine, and she like blows through those ships that are damn near impossible to stop with little to no effort because reasons. And like now she's one of the most powerful beings in the universe.
And that's
Um,
just boring.
like
and not only and not
uh,
only that, but now how are you gonna make her? How are you gonna make a genuine threat now?
like I don't know how it is in the comics, but like when she was Captain Marvel, or no, not that Ms. Marvel, wasn't the extent of her powers just that she had like enhanced strength and like enhanced strength, flight, and what was it? Energy projection, and that was the end of it. There wasn't like any invulnerability stuff with her.
She was super strong, super fast flight, energy powers and absorption, and that's about it. Um, but then she's retconned in the Marvel universe in the MCU as extremely powerful, more powerful than Thor and the Hulk, and I'm like, so you nerfed Thor, you definitely nerfed Hulk in the MCU, and but you made Captain Marvel super OP when in the comics she's nowhere near as powerful as Hulk or Thor.
It's just I don't know what it is with some writers. They want to make like OP characters, and it's like then they I don't know. I think it maybe it's done for attention. I mean, there's ways to make a character that's ultra powerful. Whatever you get, One Punch Man or something.
That is a
Or,
fantastic example.
yeah, it's like you have it to where his the thing he can't fight is a test on paper where he scores low on it, and he's basically considered a low rank S class or something.
Not even
What
A
And
happened?
class, it's C
What
class.
the joke was he ends up being C class because even though he broke all the records for the physical trials,
yeah,
his actual written tests were pretty damn low,
I
so it
know, and
averaged out to a C.
that made
Oh,
me
that
that
was
that
hilarious.
was so relatable to me because it's like I had done all these physical examinations of computers and printers and worked through all of the whatever, and it's like me with tests, I am so bad at them, first time around. They're just so hard to get through for me, and I think tests are kind of bullshit because it's like, it's like you have the knowledge of it. It's just that it's like, oh, you missed question 2, 3, 4, blah 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 blah, and it's like, shut up. And then I find out in the IT world, you just basically just put in the hours being an intern or whatever, and then just slowly rise up. Most of the guys I know who are in IT, that's like they've never even like taken the test I did. So I'm like, why am I doing this in the first place?
That is pretty true.
Yeah.
Before I see that we're getting a little bit close to the end of the stream. I still have time myself, but before anything else, we did get another question. Slim, you want to read this?
Hopefully this is the last one. Guillermo del Toro's stop motion animated Pinocchio movie and live action Snow Queen film. Guillermo del Toro is one of my favorite directors ever, and I honest to God think he works better when he's not mainstream. So if these go like if these like go under the radar but do well, I think that'll be best for him because that's just Del Toro, man. That's just Del Toro, and I think he can do something really unique with like he's like here's the thing, Del Toro is so unique and interesting that he could like he adds his own special flavor to the fantasy. Whenever he's like Mrs. Dash, just something about him makes you want to pepper in everything. Like if you told him like here's like he would be great if you made like a live action like I say I keep saying this, make a live action gargoyles or if you're going to do a gargoyles adaptation or reboot or whatever, have it be done by Guillermo del Toro because he would be perfect for that. Um, and I just think that he just has his own style and flavor that really does make it pop overall. Um, you guys know who Del Toro is, right?
Oh
Like,
yeah, like
Yep.
Pan's Labyrinth, Hellboy, first
Mhm.
one, and that
He did
Fish
the
Out
sa-
of
he
Water
did,
movie.
Yeah. Well, and I also had a chance to go with him to not go with him. I had a chance to actually check out his exhibit. I think it was in 2017, then it was 2018. Toronto had this really awesome exhibit with him in it, and it was kind of cool to see the guy's work. But on to what we're talking about now. If they let him do it his way, both Pinocchio and the live action of Frozen will be awesome. If they try to mainstream it too much, it's it still will probably be pretty good, no matter what. I mean, I don't think I can remember a bad Totoro movie, but there is definitely a difference between when he's given full reign versus when he has to do certain things certain ways. At least that's my
he
thoughts on it.
he only actually the only time that actually happened, and the only time he made a bad movie, I think it was Mimic 2. Even he admits he didn't like Mimic 2 because there was so much executive bullshit going on.
Yeah.
Which is why I think it's why he's so picky when he does certain projects. But everything that Del Toro is like attached to, it usually ends up being gold. Like Kung Fu Panda 2 had a lot of influence from Guillermo del Toro.
Hmm.
He was an executive producer on Kung Fu Panda 2. And that's one of my favorite films ever. Favorite
That
films of
was a
all
pretty good
time.
movie.
And then he made Hellboy 2, The Golden Army, and that's one of my favorite films ever.
You got good taste, man.
All right, I'm gonna end the stream here because, like I said, man, I
Oh, we need to
my
make one
head.
correction though. Someone mentioned in the chat that Sin City was directed by Robert Rodriguez and not Zack Snyder.
Zack Snyder definitely worked on Sin City.
Oh, well, I just read an
He
article where
I'm
he's
not
inspired by that movie for
like
Max
I
300.
swear to God, I don't know, man. I swear to
Oh, don't
God,
worry.
I thought Zack Snyder
Okay.
worked on that movie.
Well, that is a good question. I'm just checking this right now to see if I could probably just check Sin City Film, and we could find out there. Let's see. Yeah, let's face it. If we didn't answer this, it would bug us. Well, it would bug me anyway. It says it was directed by Frank Miller and Robert Rodriguez.
Huh.
I'm
I
checking if
swear
Zack Snyder had anything to do with it, like producer or anything like that. I don't see anything in terms of producer or anything in here. I'm just double checking if he was in the credits or anything, but I don't see anything. Sorry, man.
I swear to God, I thought Zack Snyder worked on that. Oh well, I can't think right now. I can't. Like I said, I got stuff in the back burner that I'm doing right now, and I gotta get off anyway because these kids are gonna. Oh
Hey,
boy.
forget
Yeah.
about it, man. It's anyone who's had to work with kids definitely knows the fun when it comes to that. Do what you got to do, man.
All right, I'm gonna head out. Thanks for coming, guys. You're awesome.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Thanks for inviting me, and to anyone in the Peanut Gallery. Appreciate y'all coming tonight. You guys are awesome. So, have a good night.
Good
Good
night.
night, guys.
Bye.
Bye.